Hey YouTube, welcome back to Axis and Allies, the Garrison. This is Detroit coming to you from the bunker in Roosevelt Park, New Jersey. This is season number 5, round number 6 of the YouTube Wars. Man, what a round, what a game. The Axis have been very, very aggressive and have been playing a superb game. Mafia Field, VK Cowboy, and Hambone from the HQ are just top-notch players, and you know what? They're just kicking our butts here in this game, to be honest. And of course, let's not forget that these guys are also stand-up gentlemen. What a pleasure and what a joy to play with. Okay, same thing for my allies. Okay, Hilltop Pillbox, GI Joe, and Matt Todd. Great guys, what can I say? And unfortunately, I have not been the great ally that I should have been in this game because I've just been very busy, and unfortunately I have not been able to put as much input or make a greater contribution to the war effort by giving my 2 cents, and in parts because I've been so busy at work. As you guys well know, things are a little bit testy in my area right now, and actually all over the country to say the least. So much of my attention has been going to work lately, to say the least. And of course, I also have matters with my family and whatnot. And just to put the icing on the cake, my air conditioning unit went out yesterday. And of course, I had to call my brother-in-law, who is an AC, HVAC guy, who came over and got my system up and running again. But hence, that's why you can hear the AC running, because he suggested that I leave it running and see if there are any other issues that may come about. But yeah, been very busy with life and work in general. Anyways, what's going on in the game? Again, the Axis are playing a hell of a game. Bryansk just fell to the German blitzkrieg once again. And first time for Bryansk, but I mean again because the blitz never stopped. The Axis have been attacking us, and they've been just pushing the Russians back and back even more so, to the point where they ultimately kicked the Russians out of their own territory in Bryansk. And now the Russians are going to have no choice, I think, but to make a final stand in Moscow. And unfortunately, the odds don't look good for the Russians or the Allies. But let's see, you never know. Lady Luck is an interesting female, to say the least. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know what your thoughts are. How would you have done things differently? I'm interested in knowing, and always look forward to your commentaries. I apologize if I don't get back to your commentaries. I've been pretty good by the most part, but if I don't, please cut me some slack, because I've just been busy, as you guys well know. Anyway, let's go and make a quick recap of what's going on the ground, and then we'll do the Russia turn. Alright guys, so here we are. The battle for Bryansk was just fought. Unfortunately for the Russians, the Germans have way too many ground units still available for the final attack, or the final push that will take place against Moscow. Okay, Germans have, I believe, 9 armor and 3 AAAs currently in Bryansk, along with 3 newly built armor, with 1 that was just brought in, or that I believe it was either there or was brought in from Bessarabia. So that's potentially up to 13 armor that could be available for the final offense or push into Moscow. Okay, and of course the Russian turn has yet to go, so we'll see what the Russians will have by the end of this round. So very interesting situation here, very bleak for the Russians. All right, so what's going on in the Mediterranean? Well, the Axis have been able to secure Syracuse and Crete. Okay, they're on their way to securing the Mediterranean victory point and the New Rome victory point as well. So it's going to be tougher. However, the Axis still have yet to secure Egypt. At least that's one victory point that is being denied. I believe that's the New Rome victory point. The Allies did have at least a couple of victories. The Axis forces in Persia or Iran were taken out. I believe the Axis lost 3 fighters, about 4 or 5 infantry, and 1 Japanese fighter that were defending that particular strong point that was held by the Axis powers. Hilltop was also, who was the commander of the UK, was able to secure Iraq from the Axis powers as well. All right, the U.S. under the command of Matt Todd moved its fleet into Sea Zone 123. This fleet consists of 1 cruiser, 1 destroyer, a carrier with 2 fighters, 2 submarines, 3 transports, and of course in Iceland you have 3 infantry, 2 armor, 2 mechanized infantry, and an artillery. Hopefully this force will be able to project and hopefully deploy somewhere in Northern Europe. Let's see what Matt Todd does with that force. All right, what else? Let's go over to the Pacific. The Pacific, the Japanese have been able to coalesce their fleet in Sea Zone 36. Okay, the idea is to check the Americans who are coalescing and are building up their forces in the Philippines. I'm sorry, at the Hawaiian Islands in Sea Zone 26. Also in Manchuria, the Americans built not Manchuria. Correction. In Korea, the Americans built a minor industrial complex with the hopes of harassing Japan and maybe even potentially taking one of the victory objective points or victory cities from Japanese control. All right, the Anzacs are also coalescing a substantial fleet here in Sea Zone 54 with the hopes of denying a victory point from the Japanese. Okay, and of course, as we know, the Money Islands are full of oil fields, and if the Axis control at least 4 of those oil fields, they will be able to acquire 1 victory point away, or gain 1 victory point in favor of their war effort. All right, so that's where we are at currently. Russia starts this turn with a total of 29 IPCs, of which it will build a grand total of 7 infantry and 2 artillery. That's it, 7 infantry and 2 artillery. There will be no attacks. Yeah, no attacks coming from the Russians. It's all going to be non-combat movements, and not that many, because Russia really at this point has very few options. Russia will move 2 infantry into Vologda, from Archangel into Vologda. Russia will move 1 infantry from Smolensk into Moscow, and will move 3 infantry from from Moscow. Will be railing 3 infantry from Moscow to Kazakhstan, along with 1 infantry from Stalingrad will be moved into Kazakhstan. 2 artillery, 2 self-propelled artillery will be moving into the mountain range pass east of Kazakhstan. All right, and that about does it for the Russians. Okay, I really have no other non-combat movements that I can make for the Russian forces, as I can tell. All right, so I'll go ahead with the final placements of units. I'll place all 7 infantry in Moscow, along with 2 artillery in Moscow. Okay, and these are the forces that will hold out and will make the final stand against the attacking Germans, probably round 7. Round 7, Germany will attack, I'm sure of it, will attack Moscow. Let's see what happens in this massive battle. Not a massive battle, but a very key battle where the Soviet Union can potentially fall to the attacking German onslaught of the Blitzkrieg. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And of course, as I like to say, don't forget to bunker down and play. Oh, wait, I'm forgetting forgetting to do my income tracker. I always forget to do my income tracker and final dispositions of forces recap portion of the video. So Germany currently is collecting, I believe, 21 IPCs, and Germany does have one national objective, and that is that Germany still controls northwestern Persia. So that's an additional 2. So 21 plus 2 NO, that's a total of 23 IPCs. 23 IPCs that Russia will be collecting or carrying over to round 7. Now let's go ahead with the dispositions of forces recap. In Korea, Russia has 8 infantry, 1 artillery, 2 AAAs. In Moscow, Russia has 5, 10, 11, 12, 14 infantry. That's 5, 10, 11, 13, 14 infantry and 2 artillery. In Kazakhstan, 5 infantry. In the mountain range pass, actually I'm just realizing that these artillery, mechanized infantry cannot make it into the pass. Only infantry can. So all of the Russian forces will be in Kazakhstan. That's 4 infantry. What I am going to do though is I'm going to then be sending these 2 artillery into Moscow. So instead of there being two artillery, we have 4 advanced artillery in Moscow. In Kazakhstan, we'll have only 4 infantry. Okay, and all right, and last but not least, Season 113, you have 1 Russian submarine. All right, guys, I believe that does it for now, and good luck. It is now Japan's turn. Moffett Field.